Hey, John Hickok here. I want to show you guys my Christmas present that I got from Dad. It's a P365 with a recent born on date. So some of you probably know that these things have had some problems. You know, when they first came out, of course, everybody was really excited about them, but then they had some issues, or different things, you know, reliability, you know, some different problems. So then people kind of cooled off on them a little bit. And I think they fixed a lot of the problems, if not all of them. And so people are kind of starting to come back to them, and this is a new one. So part of it, Dad has one too. This one's, I think, about a month old, something like that, and Dad's has similar. And we're going to be shooting them and making sure that they work. I've already shot this one a fair amount, and it's you know, it seems to work, but it's a neat little gun. Just wanted to show it to you. And if you haven't seen our video on it, definitely go check it out. But in the meantime, I can tell you some stuff about it too. But I'm going to shoot it right now. All right. 10 rounds in a flush magazine. It's pretty impressive for a gun that small. Okay. So the appeal of this gun, of course, what makes it kind of exciting is that you have 10 rounds in this little pistol that is the size of a lot of single stack 9mm. So you get an extra 2 or 3 rounds, depending on which gun you're talking about, or however you got it set up. And it's essentially the size of a Shield or a Glock 43, maybe even a tad smaller, I don't know. And you have 10 rounds in the magazine, 10 plus 1, 11 shots in this little bitty tiny package, which, you know, I don't care who you are, you can't knock that. Of course, it needs to be reliable. It needs to work, you know, as we use the term 100% reliable. Of course, there's no such thing as 100% reliable, but it's just kind of a term that we use to mean it's as reliable as guns typically get. You know, it's kind of what we mean when we say that. So yeah, we want these things to be 100% reliable on the level with other guns that we know and trust and love before we get too excited about it. But it's a neat little gun, the Sig P365 and 9mm. It's just a cool little gun. Let's see, I'll go shoot these other couple mags. Also, don't forget to go check out budsgunshop.com. As you know, they are a huge supporter of ours, and we appreciate everything that they do for us. So make sure you check them out. And also Federal Ammo, shooting Federal Ammo right now. We appreciate all of their support. And if you have not yet joined the NRA, the National Rifle Association, please go to the link below and do that whenever you get a chance. I appreciate it. All right. So it comes with 3 different magazines, or you know what? It may not. Dad might have gotten me one of these. I can't remember. But there are 3 different types of magazines. I believe it just comes, actually, I think it just comes with the 2 10-rounders. And one of them has like the little extra piece right there for your hand, which I don't care about. I'd be fine with just the regular flush base plate, but there's also a 12-round magazine. I'll put that in just a second. The beauty of it is, for a small gun, just like with the Shield and the Glock 43, it shoots like a real gun. You know, it's a 9mm. It's not some little 380. It feels like a real gun. You have real gun capacity. You know, you have the same capacity of a Glock 26, which is really cool. Okay, this is the 12-round magazine. So 12 plus 1, so you could have 13 rounds, but of course you have the longer grip. So it's a pretty nice little pistol, and these newer ones are coming with the night sights. I really like that big green dot there. It's kind of like those XS big dots. So it's pretty nice. It's got a nice trigger. We'll load up one more time and shoot it. Has a nice trigger if you're familiar with the Sig 320s. You know, it'll kind of remind you of that, kind of like the baby version of those. But yeah, I was really excited to get that for Christmas. I've been carrying it in this Alabama pocket holster, Kydex, which pocket carry is pocket carry is kind of frustrating because it's so convenient that once you start doing it, it's hard to go back, for me at least, to any other type of carry. You know, and that's what's neat about these smaller, I almost said single stack. I mean, this is not a single stack. This is a double stack magazine. But these smaller guns in 9mm, they really make it so that you can pocket carry a real gun, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a 380. So you're not sacrificing a whole lot. But you know, I've experimented with all different ways to carry, and it's just hard for me to get away from the pocket carry. It's so nice and convenient. Because I know some of you guys don't care about printing. You might even open carry, but you know, I don't know. I don't like that. I hate feeling like, you know, I'm at the grocery store and I gotta bend down to like pick up something big or something off a shelf, and you know, whoever's behind me just bam, clear as day, just saw my gun right there on my hip. You know, and then when you stand back up, you gotta do the old shirt thing and get it back around, and I don't know. It's fine, but it gets kind of old, especially when you carry in a pocket and you don't have to even think about any of that kind of stuff. And it prints some in the pocket too. I mean, if you're looking for it, you know that someone probably has a gun if you kind of know what to look for. But it doesn't change. That's what's kind of cool. No matter what you're doing, if you're bending down or leaning back or sitting down or whatever, it's always the same amount of visibility. And of course, appendix carry is nice for just walking around. But then you sit down and the gun is jabbing you. And also, if God forbid it ever did go off somehow, you know, that bullet is going to go into some really uncomfortable places if you're carrying a gun, you know, pointed right at your nuts, basically. And, you know, typically it doesn't happen, but still, it's just, I don't know, it's a little unnerving, you know, having a loaded gun round in the chamber just pointed right at your, like, pelvic bone and right where your junk is. You know, it's not very comforting. So that's kind of why I typically, you know, pocket carry. And some of you that have you know, known me for a little while, you know, I used to carry that car P380 in my pocket all the time, and actually it got stolen, so I don't have it anymore. And I thought about replacing it with a Glock 42, but then I got to where, I don't know, I kept putting that off. So I was carrying my Glock 43, and I was keeping it in my car, and I was like appendix carrying it whenever I would go into a store. And then when I get in the car, I would take it off and, you know, put it in the console. And I got to where sometimes I would go into a place, I wouldn't even put it on, you know, stuff like that. So I had been thinking I needed to go back to pocket carry, because that's the way that I like to carry more consistently. So this worked out great. It's a little bigger than the 380, but it works. Here, I'll show you. I won't put a mag in it. Why not? I will. Okay. Now, of course, I have nothing else in my jean pocket except for, you know, keep a flash drive and extra guitar picks right there in the watch pocket. Now, these Alabama holsters are pretty cool. Dad kind of turned me on to them. You got the little thing there where you can push it out. Now, of course, I don't have a round in the chamber. Normally, that's, of course, how I would carry it, but just for demonstration purposes and on video, your IQ drops to about half of what it normally is, so just to, you know, avoid any kind of mishaps. So you kind of have to hook it in a little bit like that. Get it down in there. And you know, if I'm doing the old Captain Morgan stance, you know, got my leg up high or something, you know, you can see that grip kind of poking through, but not a big deal. I mean, you kind of have to be looking for it. It just looks like I just have some kind of big something, you know, in my pocket. You know, I've got my lifetime carry permit. You know, I'm not doing anything illegal, so there's really nothing to worry about if someone does notice that it's a gun. But it's not super obvious. You know, it's better than, you know, having it back here and then bending down and, you know, bam, you can see it in full living color. At least it's always kind of diffused and covered up. And most of the time, you know, walking around, and it's, you know, it's just not that noticeable. So I don't wear like young hip tight jeans or anything. I just wear a big baggy jeans, so it's not bad. It works out pretty well. And it's a little heavier than a 380, of course, but it's not bad. It's not too heavy. All right, let's do a little more. What do we got here? Okay, I got the 10 round mag in it. I'm gonna try over on the hill a little bit, so I can hit the gong with it. I was doing it the other day, but you know how it is when the camera comes on. Okay. Of course, I would get it with the first shot, and now I can't hit it. I think maybe I think I'm holding low. I'm gonna try aiming up a little bit. Nah, I think I'm the opposite problem, going high. Yep. Okay. You know, it's very doable, but it's obviously not a gun that's really designed for long range shooting. But the trigger on this thing is nice. I mean, it's got a nice trigger. It's actually fairly light. It's a good striker fired trigger. Okay, shoot some close stuff again. That big green dot is just so easy to see. I love it. I've gotten to where on the close targets sometimes I won't even try to line the sights up. I want that green dot to be sticking up higher than the rear sights instead of being flush, of course, lined up windage wise. And I just know to kind of keep the gun down a little bit, and that's something that kind of works for me. Shooting close stuff, I'm trying to engage things kind of quickly. You know, things like that. Notice how I use the word engage. It's because I'm so tactical. I engage things when I shoot them, like a Terminator. I don't know. It's a neat gun. I'm excited to shoot it some more and see how it's working. And I really am rooting for Sig on these things because I love the concept. When I talked to them at, I don't know if it was SHOT or NRA, one of those big shows where all the big manufacturers are there, and one of the reps was telling me that they designed the magazine first, a double stack magazine, and then built the gun around it, which sounds like a great idea to me, and that's how they came to this thing. I know Glock has something that's going to be kind of their answer to this, so we'll see what happens with that. But you know, if they have fixed everything with these guns, and if not, once they finally do fix everything, but I think they probably have. We'll see. This is going to be a revolutionary gun. Everyone's always talking about there's no innovation anymore, which you don't necessarily need. There's a lot of great guns out there already, but this is definitely that. I mean, this is pretty cool. But who knows? Maybe Glock will beat them out. Maybe we'll have to go buy the new Glock because I like it better. I don't know. We'll see. All right, but real quick before I go, I just kind of want a quick update kind of for the channel. As you notice, there probably hasn't been many videos coming up here lately. As we come into the new year, I'm going to be going back to posting some more consistent content over here on this channel, and also make sure that you go over to the John Hickok Show channel. I've changed the names a few times. Like this is now, it used to be the Hickok 45 and Son channel, but now it's the John Hickok channel. And then the other channel that used to be called John Hickok is now called the John Hickok Show, because that's where I'm going to put the podcasts, and they're going to be unedited and uncensored and all that kind of stuff. So I hate telling people to subscribe. I never do. All I'm saying is just go look at it if you think that that's something that you want to watch. I don't care if you subscribe or not. Just be aware that it's over there if you want to watch the podcast. But I have some new stuff coming that will be on this channel, you know, sometime in the first part of the year. So keep an eye out for that, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you guys had a good Christmas, and I'll see you around. Oh, hi, didn't see you there. I was just playing my favorite country and western song. While I've got you here, I want to remind you to check out our friends over at SDI, the Sonoran Desert Institute. You can find them at sdi.edu. They are a fully accredited online distance learning program where you can become an associate's degree in firearms technology or become certified in gunsmithing. So if you're interested in a career like that, please go check them out, sdi.edu. Also, while you're on the internet, please go to hickok45.com and see everything we have over there. We have all of our social media links and all that kind of thing, like full30.com, links to our store. We have t-shirts now that you can acquire for yourself through Bunker Branding. Matt from Demolition Ranch's new company. It's Hickok45 on Twitter, just to save you the time from going to the website. Hickok45 on Facebook. The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John Hickok YouTube channel. There's a John_Hickok45 Instagram where I post some stuff. So please go check that out. And then I'm going to get back to playing this country song.